What's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99 back on the fight front once again. Make sure y'all subscribe. Back with my post-fight video here on Tony Harrison versus Jermell Charlo 2. First of all, I gotta say, this is how you do in a rematch, man. To get the full closure and redemption you want, Jermell Charlo, he fought it out with Tony Harrison again. It was another tough chess match for both fighters, but Charlo, he kept his cool, didn't get too comfortable, and came away with the 11th round stoppage, man. And I got to give him a lot of props, for taking on a very tough fight in Tony Harrison, because you could see style-wise in the very first fight, which I talked about in my prediction of this fight. It's a very tough style matchup for Jermell Charlo, just because it's like it's not just the physical and the technical skills; it was the mental game that Tony Harrison possessed in this in this one to kind of get the upper hand in Jermell Charlo. But Jermell Charlo, he did the best thing, man. He just said, hey, I'm going to keep my cool, make subtle changes, not a whole bunch of changes in this rematch. It wasn't like Anthony Joshua making that drastic change against Andy Ruiz, which to me, I still feel like he didn't need to make that big a change, whether it was the weight or, just becoming an overall boxer. Jermell Charlo stayed committed to what he did, but he kept his cool this time, which I liked. And I know a lot of people are going to say that the stoppage was wrong, but the only person here to blame is Tony Harrison, for real. You got to remember, a fight's not over till it's over, and you don't clown and you don't celebrate in a very dangerous fight like this was. Tony Harrison, he started kicking off with the clowning, early in the 6th round, and I don't know what Harrison was thinking. He's quick with the comebacks, outside of the ring, in the press conferences or whatever, but when it comes to the ring, that don't work. You gotta go all the way to the end. Gotta wait till that last bell rings, then you can celebrate and clown. But I think to a certain extent, that this go round, Charlo, he kind of blocked out a lot of that stuff Harrison was doing. He was definitely blocking out the clowning in the fight this time, because it really didn't affect what Charlo was doing. Charlo was still coming forward, still keeping the pressure on him, and like I said, I just kind of think Tony Harrison, he was being a little too extra with that, with all that clowning, in a very close, dangerous fight. It wasn't like he was up on the scorecards and shutting Charlo out. Harrison was never up that comfortable to do what he was doing, man. And that taunting, to me, like I said, that's just BS. I'm not really one to, really be a fan of taunting, especially if you ain't winning, in a very, very convincing fashion, So, again, he's the one to blame. But just looking back at the fight once again, and in this fight, Charlo was doing what I said he had to do. Not as strong as he should have been, but, he definitely started off being more aggressive. The first couple rounds, he was definitely being more aggressive, trying to get off the harder shots and, back Tony Harrison up, not really giving him any room. And he was trying to hurt him early. And it definitely showed in that second round when he pressed forward. He closed the distance, caught Harrison with his hands down, with a good left hook, and dropped him. And, on the way down, he caught him with the right hand, too. So right away, Charlo was on his game. So I have to say that, he did right in that first couple rounds, but he really needed to close the show early, to me, not make trouble, go ahead and, stay committed to that, go to Harrison's body early, and then the head will open up, because from then on, I say Charlo, from rounds 3 and 4, Charlo, he was being the more aggressive fighter, trying to enforce that power, but I felt like Harrison, he was blocking a lot of shots. He was eating some and blocking some, but, Harrison, to me, was landing the straighter punches. But Charlo, he was definitely showing that good chin and, coming back with his own shots around the guard. So, he was going, around the elbows, around the high guard of Harrison, hitting him with good shots. But I got to give Harrison his credit early on. He was boxing a pretty good textbook fight as far as, his slipperiness and how he was able to, just come back with 1s and 2s and measure his distance good. But like round 4 and 5, I say Charlo was staying busy. He was staying more in the pocket, and he was doing right, staying active and letting his hands go. Whereas Harrison, he was kind of letting Charlo come forward, and land those shots. But, Harrison, he was coming back with his own, those straight shots up the middle through Charlo's guard. So early on, those first few rounds, they were very competitive and highly, contested rounds. And that's what I like in this boxing match between these two. They both got a style that kind of bothers each other. Like Harrison can't completely hurt Charlo, and he can't get his full-on respect, and vice versa. Harrison might just have Charlo's number, in some ways, in just a few different ways. He's able to kind of back him up and pot shot him, sometimes, and get off more shots than Charlo wants to get hit with. But starting in round 6, this is where Harrison, he started playing around, and to me, that's kind of what his downfall was. Yeah, he was boxing nicely, and, you know, kind of staying on the outside, landing these good uppercuts up the middle. But, you know, he started right here. This was that first round. He started acting up a little bit. But, you know, round 7, again, you know, he was doing the same thing. You know, good boxing from Harrison. You know, he was really using his timing and firing off these good jabs. But every now and then he was getting a little bit too comfortable for me, you know, just making these little moves like swinging his arms back after he throw a couple punches and, you know, just kind of trying to get in the Charlo's head. He was winning some of these rounds here, boxing nicely, but Charlo still kept coming forward. You know, Charlo was still coming forward, you know, banging around the guard and trying his best to get through. And again, man, I do have to give Harrison a lot of credit with that jab, man. The jab was scoring in the 8th round, and you know, it's not like a lot of power behind it, but it's enough pop, you know, to make Charlo think. And that's why I was liking about his textbook jab and his textbook maneuvering. But, you know, again, these stupid little dances, he's doing is making him mentally comfortable, which is dangerous in a fight. You can never be in a fight, you know, you can never be in a fight this close, you know, acting this comfortable. I don't know what he was thinking. Like, he wasn't hurting Charlo in this fight. So I can say in one aspect he was technically a good fighter, but he was making it balance out, and he was making like his work, you know, take a fall because he was you know, getting comfortable and playing around. When you start dancing, your mindset's in a different frame. You know, you're not going to be as sharp, you're not going to be as poised. And Charlo, he was still staying dangerous. But like round 9, you know, he was using a lot of those slick tricks, you know, outmaneuvering Charlo. You know, like I said, he would land the 1-2, step to the side, you know, be behind Charlo already. But again, Charlo's coming forward. You know, he's coming through with some headshots and body shots now. You know, he's really starting to open that guard up. And round 10 to me was another close back and forth fight. It was another close back and forth round where Charlo, you know, he was landing. Harrison, he was landing some, but neither one of the guys were really dominant. You know, Harrison, he was looking a little bit tired here. You know, Harrison, he's never really been like a high stamina fighter, especially, you know, when he starts getting hit and clean. You know, when he's starting to get hit clean to the body. Whenever Charlo was laying that right hand to the body, you could kind of see the expression in his face. And here is where I felt like he started, you know, getting that downfall. Round 11, opening round, Charlo, he lands a big left hook that right away. I know it hurt Harrison because he was doing that stupid little taunt again. Like, as soon as he got hit with that left hook, he backed into the ropes and did that little thing like, you know, oh, that didn't hurt. Like, oh, that's all you got. You know, he kind of looked to the crowd trying to get the crowd on his side. But that's what Charlo needed to do right there. Right there, he turned it up. And whenever they got into another exchange of hooks, Charlo landed a better flusher hook and dropped Harrison right on his back, man. And right there, that's what I said Charlo needed to do. You need to stay on him. Harrison got back up. Charlo dropped him again with another flurry. He got back up. He looked like he was okay, but he wasn't throwing anything. So when he got back into the ropes again, he fired off like 3 shots, hit him with a good uppercut up the middle. I can honestly say like the last 3 shots didn't land, but Jack Reese, he stepped in and stopped the fight. And, you know, that was the end of it because right there, you know, Tony Harrison, he wasn't throwing anything back. You know, he took 3 shots. He might have looked like he was ready, but he wasn't like throwing anything back as far as a counter. He wasn't grabbing. He wasn't clinching. So the referee said, hey, I got to stop this fight. And, you know, referees, they probably see like the eye, you know, they see the eyes. They see the eyes up close, you know, closer than we can see. So he did right. And after the fight, you know, Tony Harrison said that, you know, maybe Jack Reese saw something that, you know, he felt like he needed to stop it. And, you know, he couldn't argue with it. So I can't argue. You know, I mean, whenever a guy starts clowning and you get caught and you get dropped, and then all of a sudden, you know, the tables turn, you know, that's on you. And I feel like his whole demeanor of getting comfortable in this fight was his fault. You know, he said it after the fight. You know, he was too lax. And I don't know what it was in his mind to feel like this lax for. You know, he was never beating Charlo up. You know what I mean? Like mentally, like I said, he can always kind of be quick with the comebacks over Charlo, but like leaving Charlo speechless is one thing. You didn't leave him punchless. You know what I mean? Charlo was always there throwing bangers. You know, this ain't a verbal war. You know what I mean? This ain't no damn freestyle battle. You know, Charlo's coming to whoop your ass. And, you know, the minute you get caught sleeping, you get put to sleep. So yeah, man, I was just real, man. That was just real as far as like what happened in this fight. You know, this is the type of stuff I be talking about to people. Like, you know what I mean? Like one reason I don't like clowning. You know, I don't like whenever a guy gets too comfortable in the ring and just thinks, you know, he's got it made. You know, especially against a guy like Jermell, who was never hurt. He was walking through a lot of Tony Harrison shots. He might have been getting outboxed in a lot of people's eyes. Like, going back, I feel like Charlo won the first half of the fight with his business and the harder punches and the knockdown. But those mid rounds, like 7, 8, 9, maybe 10, I would have gave to Harrison. 7, 8, 9, 10, I did give to Harrison because I felt like he was landing, you know, in boxing nicer. But by 10 and 11, Charlo never let up. You know, Charlo was still in his game. You know, just waiting for that moment for Harrison to get caught sleeping, and you know that's what happened. You know, he got too comfortable, and you know he planted one of them left hooks up there, and that's why I said in my breakdown, you know, got to be the overhand right of the left hook, because you know Tony Harrison, once you touch that chin just right, after you know so many rounds, when his stamina goes down, he'll go down, man. But yeah, man, that's all I got on this one, guys. Overall, I thought it was just a really, really good. It's another one of those good rivalries that we need in boxing. They both, you know, love to talk trash to each other. You know, Tony Harrison, he knows how to sell the fight. Jermell Charlo, he knows how to sell the fight with the type of person he is. And after the fight, they kind of, you know, they both said they would like to do it a third time. I would like to see a third fight, honestly, out of all the rematches we had this year, like between, you know, Ruiz and Joshua. I don't want to see a third fight, but if they wanted to fight again, I would want to see a third fight between Charlo and Harrison, but maybe not right away, because you know, Charlo, he's got some he got some unifying to do. You know, there's J-Rock out there right now. You know, J-Rock, Julian Williams, he has the other 2-3 belts. So once they, you know, they make that fight happen, maybe they can mix it up after, man. But you know, that's what all boxing fans are looking for, 154, man. And one more thing too, I just want to say that, you know, just one reason, you know, over the past couple of years I've been loving the 154-pound division. It's just because there's really no one top dog for real. Like, all of the styles, when you mix them up, you can get anything, man. Like, you don't know the top result yet. Like, we're still looking for that one guy to come over the, you know, to really rise to the top. And Jermell, after overcoming the adversity in this fight, scoring that knockout, you know, he is that guy for right now, but for how long? You know what I mean? Just because there's not one dominant guy in this division. You know, it used to be Jared Hurd. You know, he was hanging on the 2 belts. Then Julian J-Rock, you know, he caused the upset. So, you know, it's just like that right now, 154, and that's why I love it, man. You know, everybody's fair game for each other. You know, but yeah, man, that's all I got on this, guys. Let me know what y'all thought of the stoppage between the you know, Tony Harrison and Charlo. Did y'all think it was fair? I do. You know, like I said, he got caught slipping, so you know it was a fair stoppage. But yeah, man, that's all I got on this, guys. I'll be back with another video soon. Combo Breaker 99. Make sure y'all subscribe. I'm out. Peace.